Hey everybody, welcome to my plan with me for the week of May 27th through June 2nd. I'm using this Lynner Designs Tommy kit because I am doing TV shows this month, which I feel like I haven't really been mentioning, but that was my theme for May. And I'm really excited to have a reason to use this Rugrats kit because I've kind of been waiting to since it first came out. I love the deco with like all the characters. It's just so cute. And then I did bring in these US holidays and bonus holidays from Carly Plans because I think this is Memorial Day week is why. And then for foil, I got some foil from Lynner Designs as well. She made this foil pack Tommy to go with the kit. And I got it in purple hollow. And then to go along with it, I have green hollow solids. So I'll get right into the base now. Okay, getting into it, I am marking May because this week did start with May. And then the next thing I'm marking is that I went to the Midwest Princess Tour, which is, if you don't know, Chapel Roan's tour. So I will talk more about that a little bit later, but this is not fitting how I want it to. I was really excited to go to that. And then I did mark that it was 2 weeks until my Kansas City trip. So first thing Monday morning, I did mark that it was Memorial Day, which typically I don't do a ton for Memorial Day, but we did actually do stuff this year. So I did some drawing this morning. I just wanted to kind of get some work done, and even though my husband was off work, I had things to do. So I did some drawing, and then I did some like computer work. And then after all of that, we did try to grill brats, but our grill has no propane in it currently. So instead of grilling, my husband did just like pan fry the brats, and they were still really delicious. We had like all the different sides. I feel like just all the stereotypical barbecue sides. And it was really, really delicious. We did eat out on our patio, which was super nice. And then after that, we just kind of hung out in the pool because I think it was a hot day this day, but not like super, super hot. So perfect pool weather. After that, I did print and cut some stickers. Some were shop related, like test printing, but a lot of it was printing kits for myself. I try to kind of like batch do that just because, I don't know, I find it easier to do a bunch of it at once. And I did have a YouTube binge after that while I was planning, which it's been forever since I've watched YouTube. I'm so bad about it, but I've just been really stuck on watching TV shows lately, and then I've also just been away from home. So when I am home, I'm like trying to catch up on the TV shows that I have going on. I have quite a few things to mark the next day, so I'm going to go ahead and start talking about it. But Tuesday, I had my first payday from Etsy, which was super, super exciting. That was the first payday I've had in like, I don't know, a few years. Okay, I'm not 100% sure where I left off because I screwed up and I didn't put an extender on this box. So I had to like scramble and get something that worked. But after I marked my payday, I packed because I was going on a little overnight trip. So I was heading over to Nashville this day. And so I did go to Starbucks before leaving, and Sarah met me at my house because we were going to a concert together there. So we did leave fairly early just because it's a several-hour drive to get to Nashville from where I live in Missouri. But we got there, we checked in, and then we like walked over to the Assembly Food Hall, which is basically just, I don't even want to say food court because that doesn't really do it justice, but it's a place that has a ton of different restaurants and bars. And so we went there to like grab a drink and then meet up with my friend Ezra, who lives in Nashville. So wanted to see him since we were going to be there for literally one day. I tried to convince him to come to the concert, but he did not. So, oh well. I feel like I did a really bad job with this extender, but I'm going to work with it. So after we had a couple drinks, it was time to walk over to the venue. So we were seeing a concert at the Ryman, which was super exciting because if you don't know, it's like a historical venue. I believe it used to be a church because they have like pews from the 1800s that have been restored and like reinstalled. So it's really cool. The acoustics are amazing in there, and it's a pretty small venue. Like, I mean, it's not the smallest, but it's definitely not a stadium type of setting. So when we got there, the merch line was kind of crazy, so I just decided I'd be the designated merch person because Sarah went and like got to our seats, and then while I was waiting in line for merch, she sent me a picture, and I was like, holy crap, we have really good seats. And she was like, I know, because I had no clue, because Sarah just bought these tickets kind of last minute, and so I didn't like see the seat map or anything or really comprehend where we were ahead of time. So that was really awesome. And the opener was Samia, I believe. I am not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she was really good. I enjoyed the music. I didn't get to see much of it because I was in the merch line, like I said, but you could hear from pretty much everywhere in the building.
So that was really nice. And it was cool while I was waiting in line because I got to see some of the like posters of artists that had played there. And if I think of it, I'll insert a picture because nobody's told me that either way if they do or don't like that. And it's not that hard to do. So after them, we saw Bleachers, which if you are a Taylor Swift fan, you probably know of Bleachers because Jack Antonoff. If not, if you have heard of the band Fun, Jack Antonoff, who is in Bleachers, was also in Fun. So yeah, I was like, it was really surreal to be there and see him live because I never got to see Fun live when they were touring. And just knowing that like he produces music with not only Taylor but like Sabrina Carpenter and like all these big artists, it was just wild and surreal. He was so funny too. Like there was this guy that was named John Beaver, and he was trying to like FaceTime his family member, and there was just like a whole bit that it was like a 10-minute like just complete aside. Like they had started a song and then Jack was talking to this guy for like I said, like 10 minutes. So he was like, okay, once it was done, he's like, let me restart this song. It was funny, and like I'll never forget that because it was such a silly moment. And I feel like concerts are always so hard to describe. Like I feel that I'm not doing them justice when I talk about them, but it was amazing. If you like Bleachers, I definitely recommend seeing them live. It was such a good time, so worth it. I'm really glad Sarah decided to get those last minute tickets because yeah, it was just so fun. So after the concert, we did go back to our hotel, just like hydrate and stuff, and like changed into more comfortable stuff. And then we did go out for drinks with my friend Ezra so we could hang out with him for a little bit longer. And we also went to the Taco Bell Cantina, which I had never been to and I wanted to go. So we got some food, and then they also have their like freezes, but you can add alcohol to them. So I got like a Baja Blast freeze with tequila in it. So that was like weird but cool. And then we just kind of like got back to our place and stayed up late, which we probably shouldn't have because I had to drive us the next day, but we were also staying on Broadway, which is pretty loud. It was the middle of the week, so it wasn't terrible, but it was a loud area. So the next morning we did check out, and I drove us home. Sarah and I decided to get Olive Garden before I got all the way home because basically all the food and stuff like that, like food shopping, everything is about 15 to 20 minutes from my house, like south of it. So it was on the way home. I did want to say, while I'm thinking of it, that this coffee cup is from my shop, Corks and Corgs Co. So I sell that, and then also character stickers, which you will see in the next half of the spread. But if you are interested, I do have my shop linked below, and if you follow me on Instagram, it's also Corks and Corgs Co. So that's where I post like updates about shop stuff, everything like that. And if you're watching this on the day it goes live, I am doing new releases in 2 days on Friday, so keep an eye out for those. But then I got home, I did some laundry, I drew for a bit, and then I was just having a pain flare. So I did some work stuff, but I worked on it on the couch. So the 30th, I packed first thing in the morning again. So this concert that I went to this day, which was Chapel Roan, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, was planned far in advance. I just messed that up. Oh no. I might just put this sticker over that one because, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. It'll be fine. So this concert was planned at least fairly far in advance. It was definitely not like a week before purchase, but I wanted to come home in between the concerts, which is why I didn't just stay with Sarah, because she is slightly closer to Nashville than me, so I could have, but I missed my dogs and my husband and I wanted to see them. So I did drive to Illinois this day because we were going to the concert with her sister and then her sister's friend Laurel, which I know, kind of funny. So her sister was driving, which is why I went to Illinois so that I didn't have to drive myself to St. Louis. Then we got ready, so we were like blasting Chapel, and we did some like outfit try-ons and had so much glitter, like all the glitter that we could with what we had at the time. So our theme, because she does themes for each show, was Midwest Princesses, which at first I was like, okay, cool. And then I realized it meant camo, and I hate camo. So I was like, oh man, because I don't have any, and I didn't really want to buy anything camo because I'm not going to wear it again. So I settled for wearing a white tank top, ripped jean shorts, and then I did get like a camo hat from Rural King, just because it was like cheap, and I was like, I may as well just lean into it. So I have that. I don't know if I'm ever gonna wear it again, but I kept it just in case something like this happens again. So I just want to preface this with, this absolutely had nothing to do with the artist and was all the venue, but this was the absolute worst, like, organization-wise concert I have been to. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I go to a lot of concerts. So yeah, it was bad. Like, we got there, we were waiting in line, and the line was like kind of snaking around. So like, we're here and then it snakes around like this in a parking lot. Well, they needed parking for people for some other event. It wasn't like the lot for the actual concert. But yeah, so they were just like, you guys need to move over. So they are like, you know, you need to move your lines close together, right? So in theory, we should just like scooch closer together but still be snaked. No, what happened was like 3 lines just like merged into one ginormous line. So all these people were like cutting in line and everything, and it was just really frustrating. Like, We didn't have pit tickets, so that part was fine. If we did have them, I probably would have wanted to get there earlier anyways, but they didn't let us in until 15 minutes after the doors were supposed to open. And so the openers, like, I missed the first because there were drag queens as the openers, local drag queens from St. Louis. So I missed the first of the three, which I was sad about, but that was just unavoidable with the whole situation. That's all I have to say about that. St. Louis Music Park sucks. But the drag queens performances were amazing. I had never seen live drag, and that was really cool, super fun. Nice energy. And then Chapel, of course, came on, and I guess I didn't explain this. So Sarah's sister bought her and Sarah and her friend tickets, and Sarah didn't ask me because she didn't know I knew the artist, because Sarah didn't at the time. And so they didn't buy me a ticket, which, you know, it's fine. They didn't know. But I found out they were going, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go. And so I bought a ticket separately. So I was in the same row as them, but I was not actually sitting by them. So I like made friends with the people beside me, because that's who I am now, apparently. It's very weird, but I feel like at concerts it's easy because you have something to talk about. Because, I mean, you're all there for the same thing. You all love the same artist. So this, I just used extenders so I could use more boxes. Chapel's performance was just amazing. If you don't know anything about her, she is, as the name of the tour and her album suggests, from the Midwest. She is actually from like central Missouri. So since this was a home state show, it was just really special. She was kind of talking about it some. She actually went to high school with one of the drag queens, and she played a song that she had not yet played on this tour for us because she was in Missouri, and it was really, I'm trying not to cry, but it was really emotional because it's a really good song. It's called Kaleidoscope, and I love it so much. I had noticed it was the only song on her album that wasn't on the previous set lists, so that was super exciting to get to hear it and not think I was going to.
I'm very grateful. I really needed this when I was 15, so I hope that you can feel some type of 30 to the left and right, colors shining in your eye, and leave it upside down. It's beautiful somehow. It's never just a shape blue. Love is a kaleidoscope.
But it was just a really, it was an emotional experience. Primarily, the people that were there were not straight, and I've not really been in a space like that before. It just felt very safe and welcoming. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm going to cry. I'm trying not to. But it was just everything I needed. So Chapel put on an amazing show. She just sang beautifully. I loved listening to her talk a little bit too, and it was just so worth it, despite the stress. And then there was just a mess in the parking lot as well on the way out. It was a similar situation to the lines where we were standing. There was just nobody like directing traffic. So we rode back to Sarah's. Her sister dropped us off, and then we just kind of like chilled, had some snacks, and then went to bed. Something I did realize that day was that 16 years ago, May 30th, like that exact day, I went to my first concert, and it was also in St. Louis, and I met like a queer couple, and I made friends with them. They were really super nice, and they were also teenagers like me. And I was very much in the closet, even with myself at that time. So to see that then, and then now, to be at the Chapel Roan concert and be out, it felt like a full circle moment. I feel like I'm not articulating myself well, but hopefully you get the general idea of what I'm trying to say. So Friday was my sister's birthday, and I did some drawing first thing that morning because I was actually working on finishing up this drawing because I wanted to have Corky Pride in my beginning of June releases. I mean, it was the 31st, but I wanted that to be available starting in June. I will be leaving it up all year because I don't want to take it down. So that's going to be something that's just available. But I just wanted it ready in time for Pride Month. So then I did put my new releases live, and then I did some shopping with Sarah. We went to brunch actually first, and then we had a like Barnes and Noble trip. We went back to her house, and then I did drive myself home. I did go to Barnes & Noble in the town I was talking about where I always eat and shop to try and find a specific record that had just come out, but unfortunately I couldn't find it. So I just went ahead home, and then when I did get home, I had some happy mail. I did get a record in the mail, and then I watched Pretty Little Liars Original Sin because I think at this point I was still like doing my rewatch, so I was kind of binging it. First thing Saturday, it was June 1st, so I marked Happy Pride Month, which I was gonna kind of talk about Pride, but since I'm actually going to a Pride like parade and festival, I think I'll talk about it more in that plan with me because I am already like running out of time in this plan with me. I worked on orders that day. I had a jam sesh while I was doing that. And then I did go to Illinois because it was my sister's birthday celebration. So we were having dinner at my mom's house that evening. And after that, we did go ahead and drive back because we hadn't brought the dogs with us. So we just had some talks in the car. And then I did some planning and watched more Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. Then on Sunday, I folded some laundry. I know that sticker actually says wash, fold, and put away, but I was just folding it at that point. Then I washed laundry after that. I did some more work. I was printing and cutting freebies for Carly, I believe. After I did that, I had a jam sesh, and then I was in a ton of pain, so I did have a gummy. I watched more Pretty Little Liars. I filmed a plan with me. Actually just a base, but they take a lot of time. And then I did some more planning before I went to bed.
So that is my week in full. I had a pretty exciting week this week, and I think I originally intended to watch some Rugrats or like the Rugrats movie or something when I used this kit, but because I'm kind of behind, it's hard for me to remember to watch whatever I'm using. So I didn't, but it's still a super cute kit, and I'm really glad that I used it. I think the green and purple hollow just turned out super fun. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.